The battlefield is eerily silent. Alien warships, once brimming with confidence, hover in formation, their sensors scanning the vastness of space. Then, a new signal appears. A warship unlike any other. Its structure is crude yet formidable, its weapons primed with a terrifying level of efficiency. This is no ordinary vessel. This is a human warship. And in the annals of galactic warfare, that means one thing. The rules have just changed. The arrival of a human warship on any battlefield is more than just a tactical shift. It is a psychological event. Unlike other species that rely on overwhelming numbers, advanced cloaking, or exotic technology, humanity's war doctrine is built upon one terrifying principle: adaptation through destruction. Where other civilizations seek precision, humans embrace brutality. Where others hesitate, humans charge forward, even in the face of certain death. But why are human warships so feared across the cosmos? What makes them stand out in a universe filled with species that have had eons to perfect? They're war machines? To understand this, we need to break down the very core of human warfare, its history, its tactics, and the terrifying innovations that make their fleets the deadliest force in the galaxy. The evolution of human warfare. From ancient battles to galactic conquests long before humans ever reached the stars, war was already an integral part of their existence. Their history is soaked in conflict, from tribal skirmishes to global wars. Unlike many species that evolved in peace or through diplomatic unity, humanity was forged through battle. Every major technological leap, gunpowder, mechanized warfare, nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, came not from a pursuit of knowledge, but from the necessity of survival. The brutality of human warfare escalated during the 20th and 21st centuries. Wars became more industrialized, more strategic, and more devastating. Concepts like total war and asymmetric warfare became standard. Nations didn't just seek victory, they sought absolute dominance. Strategies evolved beyond direct combat, to include psychological operations, cyber warfare, and economic attrition. By the time humans expanded into space, their mindset remained unchanged. War was never just about firepower, it was about breaking an enemy's will to fight. Human warships reflect this philosophy. Unlike the sleek, energy-efficient vessels of other civilizations, human warships are built for maximum destruction. Heavily armored, bristling with weaponry, and designed to withstand catastrophic damage, these ships do not retreat. They do not surrender. They fight until there is nothing left standing. The design of human warships, brute force over elegance alien. Species, especially those with highly advanced civilizations, often view human engineering as crude. They prefer efficiency, sleek aerodynamic vessels equipped with sophisticated energy shielding and advanced AI piloting systems. But human warships? They are flying fortresses, built with one thing in mind: survivability. The core characteristics of a human warship include heavy armor plating. While other species rely on energy shields, which can fail if overwhelmed, human ships employ thick composite armor, making them incredibly difficult to destroy. Some have even been known to keep fighting after losing entire sections of their hulls. Redundant systems. Human ships are designed with multiple backups for everything: power cores, propulsion systems, life support. Even if a ship is critically damaged, it can still function long enough to continue the fight. Kinetic weaponry over energy. Weapons. Most advanced alien species favor energy-based weapons due to their efficiency. Humans, however, rely on massive railguns, nuclear-tipped torpedoes, and high-velocity projectiles. The logic is simple. While energy shields can dissipate directed energy attacks, they struggle against physical projectiles moving at near relativistic speeds. Self-sustaining war machines. A human warship isn't just a vessel. It's a mobile fortress. Many are equipped with onboard manufacturing facilities, allowing them to repair damage and even produce ammunition during prolonged engagements. A prime example of this philosophy is the Dreadnought-class battleship. These titanic vessels are essentially floating cities of war, armed with entire arsenals of planet-killing weaponry. During the Battle of Epsilon Prime, a single human dreadnought, the HSS Retribution, managed to hold off an entire alien armada for 3 days. Despite suffering catastrophic damage, It destroyed over 70 enemy ships before finally being scuttled by its surviving crew in a final act of defiance. 3. The psychological warfare of humanity. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect of human warships isn't their weaponry or their armor. It's the soldiers and commanders that operate them. Human warfare has always been as much about mental dominance as physical destruction. From ancient times, warriors employed deception, intimidation, and relentless aggression to crush their enemies' spirits. This tradition carries over into space warfare. The concept of shock and awe. Humans don't just aim to win battles. They aim to overwhelm. Their strategy is designed to instill fear, making the enemy hesitate, panic, and ultimately break. Unpredictability. Unlike most alien war fleets, which follow strict tactical doctrines, human fleets are highly adaptive. They use unconventional strategies, asymmetric attacks, and even self-sacrificial maneuvers to outmaneuver superior forces. The use of AI and automation. Unlike fully automated alien fleets, human warships still maintain human control at their core. AI assists in calculations and strategy, but final decisions are made by human commanders who can think beyond pure logic. This makes them unpredictable and dangerously creative. One infamous case of psychological warfare was the Battle of the Orion Nebula, where a vastly outnumbered human fleet used decoys, electronic warfare, and misinformation to make the enemy believe they were facing an entire armada. The result? The alien forces retreated before a single shot was fired. The arrival of a human warship. A galactic nightmare. The arrival of a human warship in any conflict zone immediately shifts the balance of power. Not because of sheer numbers, but because of the reputation they carry. Entire alien civilizations have adopted human deterrence policies, ensuring that conflicts never escalate to the point where humanity needs to deploy its full military force. The mere presence of a human warship sends a chilling message: you will not win. You will not outlast us. You will not survive. Human warships don't just represent military might. They represent a species that has never known peace, that has evolved through war, and that will fight until either they are destroyed or the battlefield itself ceases to exist. And if you ever find yourself staring at the incoming silhouette of a human dreadnought, you may already be too late. The unstoppable human war machine. Why retreat is not an option. If there's one thing every galactic strategist knows, it's this: human warships do not retreat. Not in the traditional sense. While other species view warfare as a series of engagements that can be won or lost, humans treat every battle as a matter of total survival. This mindset stems from their history, where wars were fought with the understanding that defeat often meant annihilation. In interstellar combat, this philosophy translates into a terrifying reality. A human fleet will continue fighting long after any logical commander would have surrendered. Even when outnumbered, outgunned, or seemingly backed into a corner, humans display an uncanny ability to turn hopeless situations into hard-fought victories, or mutual destruction. One of the most infamous examples of this occurred during the Siege of Vega 4. A small fleet of human warships, vastly outmatched by the technologically superior Zalzath Armada, refused to surrender. Instead of retreating, they used the gravity well of a nearby gas giant to slingshot themselves into the enemy fleet at suicidal speeds. The result? A Pyrrhic victory that left nearly every ship in ruins but crippled the Zalzath's military expansion for the next 100 years. The relentless nature of human military doctrine. What makes human warships truly terrifying isn't just their firepower or resilience, it's their doctrine of relentless warfare. When faced with an enemy force, humanity doesn't engage in drawn-out strategic posturing. They press forward with overwhelming aggression, attacking weaknesses with brutal efficiency. This doctrine is based on several key principles: overwhelm, outlast, obliterate. Instead of focusing on long-term, drawn-out engagements, human fleets strike hard and fast. Their goal is to overwhelm enemy defenses, sustain damage without breaking, and obliterate enemy forces before they can adapt. High-risk, high-reward maneuvers. While many species value cautious, calculated engagements, Humans have a long history of gambling everything on a single decisive strike. Whether it's sacrificing a battleship to break through enemy lines, or deploying troops behind enemy forces via high-risk FTL jumps, humans embrace risk in ways that defy conventional logic. The psychological toll. The very presence of a human fleet forces enemy commanders into an impossible situation. Do they fight an opponent known for relentless aggression? Or do they retreat and risk their empire's reputation being shattered by the mere sight of human warships? A prime example of this doctrine was seen in the Battle of Zeta 9, where a single human fleet, led by Admiral Kalen Voss, turned an unwinnable scenario into a decisive victory. Facing an enemy with vastly superior numbers, Admiral Voss employed a tactic known as the Wraith Maneuver. Instead of engaging head-on, the human fleet activated all available stealth systems, plunged into an asteroid field, and launched a series of high-speed, unpredictable attacks. The enemy never knew where the next strike was coming from. Within days, their fleet was in complete disarray, allowing the human warships to destroy them one by one. Human weaponry. The arsenal of annihilation. If brute force was the only defining feature of human warships, they would be dangerous but predictable. However, it's their weapons technology that makes them an unstoppable nightmare. While many alien species favor clean, energy-based weapons, humans rely on a diverse arsenal designed for maximum destruction. Kinetic devastation. Weapons that break physics. One of humanity's most feared weapon systems is the mass driver cannon. While energy weapons dissipate over distance, kinetic projectiles retain momentum, making them ideal for long-range devastation. Railguns, coil guns, and high-velocity cannons fire projectiles at relativistic speeds, turning even small rounds into city-sized explosions upon impact. The infamous Gungnir orbital railgun, a planetary defense system used during the siege of Titan III, fired a single hyperdense slug at an invading fleet. The result? It ripped through 3 capital ships, continued through 2 more frigates, and still had enough energy to cause a planetary seismic event upon impact. Nuclear and antimatter arsenal. Weapons of last resort. Most civilizations abandoned nuclear and antimatter weaponry long ago, considering them too devastating. Not humans. Nuclear warheads. While considered outdated by some species, human nuclear missiles have been refined over centuries. Neutron bombs, EMP warheads, and high-yield fusion torpedoes ensure that even if an enemy survives the initial blast, their electronics, atmosphere, and infrastructure are left in ruins. Antimatter warheads. Perhaps the deadliest weapon in humanity's arsenal. These bombs convert matter into pure energy, releasing destruction on a scale few civilizations can comprehend. During the Battle of Orion's Edge, a single antimatter warhead wiped out an entire moon-sized enemy space station. The Doomsday Protocol. When humans are left with no choice, in the rare event that a human warship is about to be overwhelmed, most species expect them to surrender. Instead, humans initiate the Doomsday Protocol. This protocol ensures that if a ship cannot escape, it will take as many enemies with it as possible. Self-destruct systems, reactor overloads, and planetary bombardment are all tools humans have. No hesitation in using. This philosophy has led to a simple, terrifying truth in interstellar warfare. Never back a human warship into a corner. You won't like what happens next. 8. The aftermath of a human fleet's arrival. If a battle begins with a human fleet entering the battlefield, it usually ends in one of 3 ways. Total annihilation of the enemy. Human warships push until nothing remains. No survivors, no escape. Pyrrhic victory for the enemy. Even if an enemy force manages to defeat a human fleet, their losses are so extreme that the war effort collapses. Tactical withdrawal by the opposing side. The smartest alien commanders know that if a human fleet arrives, fighting them is often worse than surrendering. Entire wars have ended simply because an enemy faction refused to risk an engagement. In galactic history, no civilization has ever defeated humanity in a prolonged war. At best, they can hope to survive. But what happens when the day comes that humans are truly challenged? When an alien empire emerges with the same relentless war mentality that humanity possesses, would the galaxy survive the war to end all wars? Or would humanity, once again, adapt, pushing itself into a new era of destruction? One thing is certain. When a human warship arrives on the battlefield, history is about to be written in fire and blood. The psychological warfare of human combat tactics. A battle isn't just one with superior firepower. It's one in the mind of the enemy long before the first shot is fired. Humanity understands this better than any other species. While alien commanders often rely on strict strategic formations and predictive combat models, human war doctrine thrives on unpredictability, deception, and psychological warfare. One of the most feared human tactics is known as the Ghost Fleet Gambit. This strategy involves a fleet deliberately transmitting false distress signals or staged battle damage reports, luring an enemy into a false sense of security. The opposing force, expecting an easy victory, moves in, only to find themselves surrounded by fully operational warships that had been lying in wait. Entire fleets have been lost to this single maneuver. The use of fear as a weapon. Fear is a tool, and humans wield it with precision. Some of the most unsettling human strategies include Dead Man's Fleet, a strategy where damaged human ships, seemingly disabled, suddenly reignite their engines and launch suicidal last-stand attacks, forcing enemies into disarray. Scorched Void. If humans know they are losing ground, they leave behind traps, autonomous drones, self-replicating mines, and hidden railgun satellites that continue fighting long after the main fleet has withdrawn. The Phantom Signal. Human warships have been known to broadcast eerie, cryptic messages in enemy communication channels. Distorted voices, unsettling music, or even the last recorded words of fallen soldiers, all designed to unnerve and disorient opposing forces before the real attack begins. Force. The evolution of human warships. Adapting to any threat. Unlike most galactic factions, which design warships based on centuries-old doctrines, humanity is constantly evolving, adapting, and upgrading. Every battle fought provides invaluable data, leading to new tactics and technologies that make human fleets deadlier with each passing war. Modular warships. Ever-changing, ever-adapting. Human warships are built with modular adaptability in mind. This means a single class of vessel can be refitted for entirely different combat roles mid-war. A battleship that starts as a heavy artillery platform may be converted into a fast strike carrier within weeks. No other species in the known galaxy possesses this level of combat flexibility. For example, the Aegis-class dreadnought was initially designed as a planetary defense ship. However, during the Battle of Proxima Abyss, engineers quickly modified several Aegis-class vessels with additional railgun batteries and reinforced shielding, transforming them into mobile assault fortresses. This unexpected shift in combat capabilities devastated the enemy forces, who had assumed they were facing outdated defenses. The integration of alien technology. Another advantage of humanity's relentless adaptability is their willingness to reverse engineer and integrate alien technology. Where other species dismiss foreign tech as incompatible, humans find ways to fuse multiple technologies together, creating hybrid weapons and systems that even their original inventors don't fully understand. A chilling example of this occurred after the HFY War. The Zypherans, an insectoid race, developed highly advanced biomechanical ships capable of self-repair. After capturing a few of these vessels, human engineers did what no other species dared. They merged Zypheran biotech with their own warships, creating a fleet that could self-heal from damage while still maintaining devastating firepower. The result was the Leviathan-class battleship, a vessel that bled, grew, and refused to die. The final warning. If you see a human warship, it's already too late. Throughout galactic history, countless civilizations have underestimated humanity, only to be erased from existence. Those who survive encounters with human fleets tell the same horrifying stories. Their ships don't stop moving. Even when crippled, human vessels continue fighting until the last hull fragment burns away in the void. They fight as if their existence depends on it, because it does. There is no surrender, no negotiation, no hesitation. They learn from every battle. Every engagement makes the next one deadlier. Humanity is not just an enemy, it is a force of nature. The galaxy must ask itself a terrifying question. What happens when humanity meets an adversary as relentless as themselves? When two species, equally determined, equally adaptable, and equally ruthless, clash in a war with no limits? Perhaps the most chilling truth of all is this: humanity has never fought a war where they were truly outmatched, and the day they do, the entire universe will tremble. A human warship has arrived on the battlefield, and now history will burn.